Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sam. I read 41, technically, books in 31 days in the month of May. And I don't want to be here for 5,000 years. I don't think you either want to be here for that long, So here we are. We're gonna talk about the books that I read. I'm going to first tell you the videos that I did, the vlogs that I had, if you're interested in my takes on any of these books. So I did an Emily Henry vlog where I read her backlist, and I read all but I think 3 of her backlist books that were like 2 young adult and 1 that she like wrote with another author that's like a thriller. So I read a bunch of Emily Henry. My favorite out of it was, I think, Book Lovers and A Million Junes for sure, and People We Meet on Vacation. Those are my top 3 from that video, but I also read Great Big Beautiful Life and Beach Read. So that was my Emily Henry vlog. That's kind of how I kicked off the month, and I am happy to have like read not only her new stuff, but like a lot of her old stuff. I really enjoyed Funny Story and Happy Place, so it just made sense that I continued and enjoyed a lot of her works. Beach Read was definitely the most disappointing. Anyway, the next thing that I need to preface is, out of these 41 books, I read 45. I read a short story collection. I read the Shivers, which we will go over, but I'm counting that as like one collection instead of 5 different short stories. So I'm saying I read 41 books, but I read 45 stories, if you will. 2 of the books that I read this month were for a secret project that will be coming out later this year, so you just kind of have to wait and see for those, unfortunately. And then I also did a pet collab video with a bunch of other amazing booktubers that you can check out. I read 3 books in that. I read Mirage, I read Bat Eater, and I read The Starving Saints. So if you're interested in my thoughts on those, that video is available for you, as well as the playlist or the other booktubers tagged in the collab that you can check out. And then the last videos that I did, which is why I read so freaking much in May, was I participated / was a co-host game master for Escape the Readathon. I talked about it a bunch on my channel. It was a very big deal going on. It's the reason I read so much is because I was truly just reading out of spite for these teams, especially the detectives. Sorry about it. And so I read a lot, and I vlogged my experiences reading some of the books, and I mentioned like briefly what else I had read throughout the month for those that were interested in between. And instead of talking about every single book I read and having way too long of videos, I decided that it would be fun that whilst I was reading against a team, I would read that host a book they gave 5-star. Simple, easy concept, and I did that for 3 of the teams, and also the game masters that were assisting against those teams, and then Lexi, of course. And so I won't be reviewing all of those books that are in those 3 reading vlogs, just because you know my thoughts. I tell you how I felt and all of that, so I don't need to go over it again. With all of that said, all of that out of the way, all of the promo out of the way, that still leaves us with 23 books to talk about, which is like so much. So, and also, I'm gonna be honest, it's been a whole month since I've read some of these, and I don't remember everything. I did bad note taking, which is my fault. So a lot of these I might not have anything to say about, to be honest. So I guess with all of that out of the way, let's jump into the 23 books that I will be discussing in my wrap-up. First thing I got to was Hood Feminism by Miki Kendall. This is narrated by the author, which I really appreciated, and I think at this point in time, this came out in, 2020? This came out in 2020, and I think if I read it then, it probably would have had more benefits for me. It's 2025. I'm pretty feminist, and I watch a lot of political things and a lot of commentary channels, and it's like a big part of my outside of reading YouTube life. And so I am pretty like up to date on these types of concepts, and it wasn't necessarily teaching me a lot of new information, but I do find it to be incredibly helpful. And I think for white women especially, this is very important, because we need to, check our privilege and talk about how feminism often is still just like white women's rights, and that's just not how that should be. And I know that there's a lot of misconceptions about feminism, and I just simply don't have the energy to teach people that sometimes. But I do think that novels like these, nonfiction books that are not only telling us the author's life experience, but also, educating us on like real life events and things that are happening, I find it very important. And so I am happy that I had finally read this. It's been on my list for so long, but it's not something that I feel like rating, just because I don't typically rate nonfiction, and it's not something that at this current stage of my life is teaching me more, but I find it very important. I think a lot of people need to read this, especially like younger audiences, I think would be beneficial. The next book that I read was the Frugal Wizard's Handbook for Surviving Medieval England. God, worst title. Brandon Sanderson, what are we doing? Why would you do that to me? This was not good. I did not listen to the graphic audio. My Oregon library canceled their Hoopla subscription because it was getting too expensive. And I'm really sad about it. So I'm still struggling with that. But yeah, I listened to this on Hoopla. I listened to the graphic audio. The narrators, the sound effects made the book. I did not care about these characters. I did not care about this world. I did not care about anything that was happening. It was so out of my realm of comfort or entertainment, enjoyment in books. I just was so uninterested. And I think this is Brandon Sanderson's like least popular secret project. I have only read the secret projects. I have not touched any of his other things yet. I will eventually, but it's just like I'm not ready for the Cosmere, you know, like full jump in quite yet. But I did not care about this one. I was very confused for a very long time. It's about this man who kind of gets teleported in a way, but not time travel in a way, just like teleported into like a simulation type of thing. And he loses the handbook, so he's like finding scraps of paper along the way. You have this like woman narrator telling, like, reading off the page, being like, and here's a fact you need to know, and here's the handbook. And he's going on this adventure. By the end, I was so over this damn book. I was so sick of it. I did not want anything to do with him and his ex-girlfriend and their drama. I did not need it. Like, I can understand. I can see this working for some people, but like, it was so far from at all interesting to me. I just like was not into it. So pass for me. Will reread Yumi and Tress someday. I will never touch this one again. The next thing I read was The House at the Bottom of the Lake by Josh Malerman. This is a novella, horror, teen summer romance about these two teenagers going on like their first date, and they get in a little canoe, go off to like a little secret place. It's very cute and very summer, and they find a house at the bottom of the lake. And I like the overall arching premise and idea of this, of like the metaphor of them finding the house and then it disappearing when like the relationship's on the rocks, and like the summer ending, and like the ebbs and flow of the relationship, and like the the abrupt ending that is ambiguous and up to interpretation. Some people take it in different ways, and that is what I find most fascinating. I love a book that like by the end I'm like, all right, tell me your theories. I want to know what you think. Love that. But I did enjoy the journey. This was very short, so it wasn't like a long read. I definitely think it's something I could revisit. I enjoyed the narrators for the audiobook, and I definitely can see why so many people love this. I don't think it hit me that hard like it's hit other people, but I did like it. It's like a good 3.5, like solid read. The next thing I read was a little bit disappointing. So I read The Woods All Black by Lee Mendello, and this is also a horror novella. Gotta keep the short things short when you're reading 41 books. And so this is about a trans man who is a nurse and going through life. There's like war happening, they're a nurse, and then like the woods and some supernatural things, some spooky, scary things kind of happen, and like a kind of a culty town, very religious. This was fine, but our main character, who is trans, is dead pronoun, dead name the entire book. Like nobody ever, like it's not like a coming out story, it's not growing into your skin or anything. So you just kind of have to like deal with that. Like everybody's going to misgender them the whole time. And also on top of that, there's a weird romance in this that I don't think I can really get behind. He's just like a little young for him, and I don't love that. But I don't really, like, this is so historical fantasy that I just was not interested. I don't love a historical setting, to be honest. It's not really for me. So this was just like, I read it and I'm happy it was done. It was for the Buzzword reading challenge because there's eyes on the cover, so it's like I wanted something anyway, but I think I'd rather have read like anything else. So yeah, not my favorite. 2.5 stars. Okay, The River Has Roots by Amal El Motar. Wow, this was really good. I really enjoyed this. This is following two sisters. It's got a very fairy tale feel to it, and it's very short, very whimsical. It's got like fae, like they're living on like the edge of the fae world. Her sister there is like a hint of romance in it, but it is really about the sisters. And I love the writing. I really need to revisit This Is How You Lose the Time Warp, because I read that 2 years ago now, and I don't really remember it very well, and I didn't love it like everybody else seems to, so I think it was a me problem at the time. But I want to revisit that. I'm excited for her short story collection that's going to come out, I think later this year, if not next year. And we got like a snippet of one of the stories. It was a whole ass hour, which is fine, but it was a long end of the book short story, like, hey, check me out in the future. I rather enjoyed this though. I really like the sister relationships. I really enjoyed the like whimsy world, the magical of it, the magic of it, the whimsy of it, the sister relationship. I really love the singing in this book. I'm a sucker for a narrator who's going to sing me the lyrics of anything written. It's gorgeous, it's beautiful, it makes me want to cry. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. The next thing that I listened to was Voice of the Ocean by Kelsey and PGK. I did it. I always struggle with her last name. I've been watching her YouTube channel on and off for years, it seems. And she's a Sims YouTuber, so I'm exposing myself. Yes, I watch Sims YouTube. She's a Sims 4 primarily player. She used to work at BuzzFeed. So it's really cool to see her step out of that world and like write a book and get published, and like seeing her journey was really cool. I don't have a parasocial relationship to her like a lot of, I think, the readers who will be picking this book up do. And so I didn't really have like a, oh, I have to give it 5 stars because I want to be friends with her and I have to like tag her in a review and like whatever, like not that kind of reader and reviewer. And so I just read this because I wanted to support her, and it was available at my library and I thought it'd be fun, and it is. I did not realize going into it was a Little Mermaid retelling, and it's very, very, very close to the source material, especially in the beginning, and it definitely like differentiates itself towards the end. And I did like the take that it, like the journey we took and the adventure we got on and the twist that happens at the end, even though it was a little bit predictable. I liked it, and a lot of people have been really impacted and shocked by the twist ending, and so I'm happy for them. I do think this is good. I think it's a really strong debut. I really enjoyed, again, the narrator and the singing. I think the narrator crushed it. It was difficult when I was first reading it, and I was like, oh, this is just a Little Mermaid, like straight up, like there's no differences, like it's just a Little Mermaid. It gets better, but I am excited to see where the series is going to go from here. I feel like often a Disney princess retelling is a strong retelling for the first book and then so vastly different for the rest of the series. So I'm excited to see where we can go from here, especially with that twist ending that like freaked everybody out. I think it was solid. It was strong. I didn't like love anything about it, but I did laugh at a couple of times. I had fun with the characters. I really enjoyed the found family of it. So I do think this is like a solid debut, and I would recommend it. The next thing I read was House of Bane and Blood by Alexis L. Menard. Now, I really like this. This is urban fantasy, which is not really for me. It's romantasy. And it's kind of like a mafia, which I do enjoy and I find very fun. Love a little mafia moment. But this was good in the moment. And because I was reading so much, I have forgotten so much of it. And so I finished it. Was like, that was good. And immediately bought the second book on Audible because it's an Audible exclusive. Immediately got it. And now I'm going to jump into it, and I don't remember the ending. Like, I remember the setup of like an arranged marriage situation, and then it's like gone. Just completely from my mind, and I'm so sad about it because I had a great time whilst I was in it. I gave it 4 stars like right after I bought the next book. I was so into it, and now I've just forgotten it. So downside, like anybody who's like, wow, people read too many books, they don't know what's going on. Sometimes that is the case, especially when you're bad at taking notes. I do not take notes to save my life, and that was bad of me. I need to go back and retroactively write notes because I did write a good amount of Goodreads reviews, but yikes on me, failing myself this month. Okay, next I read Society of Lies by Lauren Ling Brown. This was so disappointing. Oh my god. This very similar to In My Dreams I Hold a Knife or the Ruth Ware book I can never remember. The It Girl. Oh my god, it's not even a hard title to remember. Good grief, Sam. Yeah, it's the same. So we're following 2 sisters. One sister gone, and she followed in her big sister's footsteps. They went to the same college, and there's a secret society and a sketchy professor, and it's exactly what you would expect from a book like this. I believe this was also, yes, a debut. It was fine. You're getting the older sister's past experience in the college, and then you're getting the younger sister's current experience in the college leading up to her death, and then the older sister trying to figure out what happened to her, because it was ruled as like accidental overdose, but she's like, my sister doesn't do drugs, something's going on, so she's investigating, and she's got some friends from the society and when she was in college that are kind of helping, and wow, it is a little bit, it's a lot. It's kind of a lot. The sisters were cool. I liked being with them, but they sounded the same. Like, the reason I'm struggling with remembering, like, who died and what happened when is, like, they sounded the same. Like, their experiences were the same. They went to the same college with the same people and the same, like, everything. So there was no difference in them. I liked some of the conversations that were happening, like, obviously, like, the sisterhood, also, like, taking care of your younger sibling when your parents are dead. Like, there was some things to this that I did enjoy. Like, it wasn't blatantly bad, but it was so uninteresting. The twist was not that surprising. It wasn't, like, super shocking and made you go, oh, wow, I've never seen this in a dark academia before. So I was kind of just disappointed and over it pretty quickly, but I wouldn't say don't read it. I just think if you've read a lot of dark academia like I have, because it's one of my favorite, like, subgenres, it doesn't hold up. But if you're new to the genre or you're exploring it, then it might be a better hit for you. The next thing I read was A Man and His Cat Volume 1. This is by Umi Sakuraya. It's fine. Ooh, it feels bad to say. What an ugly little cute cat. I love the cat. I did not know that we were going to get the cat's perspective. I thought that was cool. I love when that happens. I really have been enjoying Cat and Gamer. That's been a really fun series. I've been, like, reading them as they come out. I've been very up to date with it. Like, it's been fun. This one did not quite have the same charm. It's very, again, slice of life. A man who is going through grief at the loss of his wife who wanted a cat. He picks out a cat. This cat has been abandoned and rejected so often, and so obviously when this ugly, cute little fluffy cat gets chosen, it's like the best day of his life. And it's heartwarming. It's so sweet. It's just kind of meh. Like, it wasn't super exciting or interesting. It was just cute. I think because I've been reading Cat and Gamer, it has a lot of similarities, just like learning how to take care of a cat for the first time, and like you're like getting to know each other. I will probably continue in the series. I just don't think it's a priority for me, but it was cute. I really enjoyed the art style. I love that cat. I love that cat so much. I think that there's a lot of room for a storyline to happen more. I'll just have to wait and see. The next book I read was Court of Lions by Samaya Dodd. Oh no, I've forgotten. I read the sequel to Mirage very shortly after finishing Mirage, which was in my pet video. And I really enjoyed Mirage. I thought it was fun. It was a very 4-star read. We're following a girl who gets basically kidnapped by the crown because she looks incredibly similar to the princess. And the princess needs a body double. She's in danger. These rulers suck. And the sequel picks up basically right where Mirage ends. And I enjoy the journey that we go on. It definitely felt a little bit rushed. Initially, this was meant to be a trilogy, and I don't know if it got enough hype or picked up enough that they wanted to continue, or because this author has simply dropped off the face of the earth and has not written anything else since. Maybe was just over it, didn't want to go down, like, told their story and was, like, kind of done with the writing life. I'm not really sure. This, I think, got a little bit smushed together because it was meant to be a trilogy, became a duology, which often we have the opposite issue where a duology is stretched into a series and you're like, there's just simply not enough material. This didn't need to happen. There was so much material, but yet not a lot was happening. And so I have a lot of, like, complex feelings. I love the characters. I adore all of them. They were great throughout. I really enjoyed the development of the relationships and how everything kind of played out and how, like, allies and enemies were formed. I really like the world building. It's kind of set in a Moroccan-inspired Middle Eastern type of world where poetry is, like, outlawed and there's a lot of culture. I really enjoyed the author's interview at the end of the Mirage audiobook, so I really, really, really recommend it. I do think, like, as a series whole, it's really good. I think the second book on its own had a few issues, but so did Mirage. So, like, I can't complain too terribly much, but, like, for a debut series, and then never writing again, I think it was good. I really like the characters, especially. Like, they're gonna stick with me. But yeah, I liked it. And I do recommend it. Yeah. The next thing I read was Creaky Acres. This is by Callista Brill, and this is because Bookmon's taken a horse girl summer. Bookemon is a year-long readathon where we read for prompts and you collect little Bookemons that I have helped draw on. And so I'm a co-host. I help with things when I can. I've been super inactive all year because life, but I'm excited to get back into it. But I have been behind the scenes reading for everything and like keeping it all fresh in here. And each season we're getting a new set of prompts that are dropped to collect the Bookemon, and we're in our little horse season. And one of the like additional prompts was to like read a horse girl book, and I was like, oh cool, couldn't find one, and somebody in the Discord recommended Creaky Acres, and they were like, this is the one, and I was like, yes. So I immediately put it on hold with the library and read it when it came out. I mean, it's very cute. It's middle grade, so it's not really for me. And I'm not a horse girl. I don't like horses. They kind of freak me out. I simply like would not have survived prior to the like cars. Like I couldn't have done it. Like it just wouldn't be me. I thought this was very sweet. We're following a young black girl and her family, and they have to move, and she is like really good at horse riding, and she's a part of like this little horse training club thing, and they like do a lot of competitions and such, and like she's very like, this is who I am as a person, very horse girl. And she moves to a much like smaller town with her parents, and there's a little bit of microaggressions throughout, and it's kind of introducing kids to like the concept of racism. They move to a smaller town with a weird kid horse group, and they join their first competition, and like it's very sweet and very found family, very cute and wholesome, but also like a lot of like letting your guard down and being vulnerable and making new friends. Like I think it is a very good middle grade book that a lot of kids should read and will enjoy reading. I do like it. I do recommend it. I think it was cute. Oh, and the next thing. I think this might be my favorite book this year, and it's Thrown in the Dark. It's so good. Thrown in the Dark is a rom-com romantasy that is just not like anything else I've read. It is so funny. We are following Damon, who is a demon prince, and he's so dark, so brooding, so mysterious, and so evil. He's part demon, like he's evil. And then we have the opposite coin. We have our little bubbly blonde sunshine Amelie, who is also mysterious, clouded in like, what's going on with her, girl? Like, why are you looking for a script with magic to release a lot of undead? Like, what's going on? Like, you sweet little thing, why? And she accidentally, while meeting Damon, as they're going for the same artifact, she sucks his talisman into her body, and he can now, with a commanding word, tell her to do literally anything. But he needs that because he's got a big master plan. He's got to go save his dad, who's trapped in a ruby. I love this book so much. So they go on this journey. He's like, I can kill her and get the talisman back, but for now, we'll just travel together because she's needing something from me, and we'll just kind of be like reluctant allies for a little bit, but also like end game might just kill her. Obviously a friendship forms, and she's so pure, so good, and he is so bad and brooding that they kind of rub off on each other a little bit, and he's not as bad and evil as he likes to make himself seem. And this is such a slow burn, and it's so funny, like laugh out loud funny. It's so charming, so cute. I love it so freaking much. It's so good. I loved everything about it. I loved like the twist and like where it goes. I've already read the second book. I'm in the middle of the third book. I'm having a fantastic time. I'm so excited. There's 2 spin-off books that follow like side characters that I'm like, yes, I'm gonna be there. I'm ready. How's my heart? I love them so much. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to get back into it. The things I do for YouTube. I'm filming this video instead of finishing this fantastic book, so you're welcome. Okay, the next thing I read was the Shivers Collection. This is 5 short stories. They're Amazon originals. There's the Kindle book that you can get and the audiobook, all free. You can get them together or just one. In order that I read them, we have The Blanks by Grady Hendrix, Jackknife by Joe Hill, The Indigo Room by Stephen Graham Jones, Night and Day in Misery by Katrina Ward, and The Letter Slot by Owen King. I think in the end, this whole collection is like 3 stars, but to break it down, we had The Blanks, which was Grady Hendrix, who I've read from before, have enjoyed before. This was 4 stars. Very interesting. It's following like a family going to like a Cape Cod kind of town, like very island, secluded, isolated, but yet like rich. Like you have money when you go here. But there are these things called the blanks that you just don't look at, don't acknowledge, ignore them. But if you happen to look at them. Not good for you. But everybody in the town just like kind of like, no, it doesn't happen. Like, no, that's not here. And it's sad. It's dark. It's sad. I really enjoyed it though. It definitely like unsettles you. It definitely like did everything that it set out to do. Tough, man. Rough. Okay, next was Jackknife, which was 2.5 stars. I'm not a big Joe Hill fan, to be honest. I don't really care for his writing. I did not care for the slightest about this like teacher who's having an affair with a student and a weird obsession, and like his girlfriend left him. Like, I don't care about the affair part. I think what was interesting was that there is this tree with carvings scratched into it and a knife, and there's like the investigation of like what the knife means and what the like historical context is. That was cool. The affair stuff I could not care less about. It was so interesting. I was like, yeah, you're a man, I get it. Let's move on. Like, I was just not into it. Next I read The Indigo Room by Stephen Graham Jones. The fuck was this? Like, it was 3 stars. Nobody in the reviews can tell you what this ending was. Nobody can tell you what happened. Nobody understands it. And is that the point? Maybe. We're following a woman who works corporate American job, like, in a building. I don't know why I relate literally everything to the proposal. I need to figure that out. Works in, like, a big building, lots of windows. They have, like, a indigo room where they can, like, see pictures and stuff. And she has, like, these premonitions of bad things happening when she looks at people, like somebody without a head. And then, like, a weird, scary incident happens with the elevator. And you're like, uh-oh. And she has a kid. And, like, I couldn't tell you what happens from there. Like, it was so confusing. And, like, these are already so short. Like, each is about 30 to 40 pages. And it's just like, what? What do you mean? Don't get it. I don't understand. Next was my second favorite. Night and Day in Misery by Katrina Ward. My first time reading this author. I really need to get to her, like, actual novels at this point. This felt like a Beyond Belief Fact or Fiction mini story. So if you haven't seen the show, it's basically Beyond Belief Fact or Fiction. They give you like 5 short stories, and it's basically like 3 truths, 2 lies. Like, they make up some stories, and some stories are real, and you watch it and you get to guess, and then by the end of the show they tell you which was real and which was not. And subject to, like, everybody's, take it how you will, but it very much felt like a Beyond Belief Fact or Fiction episode, and I loved it for that. It was very fun. It's about this woman who's like dealing with the grief of the loss of her son, and it's very tragic, very sad. Definitely, like, if you cannot handle child murder, definitely, like, don't read it. But if you can handle it, it's still short. It's pretty, like, quick and has, like, kind of a sweet ending, if you will. But yeah, very much Beyond Belief Fact or Fiction. It's so funny to me. And the last story was Letter Slot by Owen King, who I'd never heard of and have not read from before. And this is basically a little boy whose mom is, like, hypochondriac, really sick, not doing well, doesn't have a father figure, and is just kind of, like, sad. It's just sad. And comes across, like, a person who they can exchange letters with, and, like, the letters were cool. I like the premise of this. I didn't care for the execution so much, but basically, like, he gives a part of himself away in these letters, and consequences happen, and it kind of feels similar to, like, The Box, the movie, in a way, but yeah, it was simply just fine. Like, I didn't, Oh, okay, back to the novels. The next thing I read was Her Majesty's Royal Coven by Juno Dawson. I was really excited for this. I was like, I'm gonna love this. It's gonna be such a great time. It's gonna be so fun. Why did we have so many perspectives? Like, we didn't need that. I think this would have been so solid if we just had the one perspective following her family, where she's taking care of her daughter. She takes in a trans kid, and she's trying to figure out her love life. That, interesting. The other women in the Coven could not care less. I understand the messaging of this book. I understand the importance of it. I think this is written for people who don't get it. Like, the people who get it don't need this necessarily. And I hated every other perspective. I didn't care about their storylines. I didn't care how they interacted. Like, they're all in the same coven, but I was just like, okay. I wasn't into it. I didn't care. It was very unfortunate. I really wanted to like this. I've heard so many great reviews. It was just fine. It was just okay. Kind of bummed about it. I really wish that I liked it. But yeah, I think if it was shorter and following one character storyline with, like, the behind the scenes evil tones, I would have probably enjoyed it more. But yeah, I just, like, Did not care. Did not like it. The next book that I read was What the River Knows. Nope. Where the Library Hides, which is the sequel to What the River Knows by Isabel Ibanez. And I really wish that this was better. Sequels have been so disappointing this year. I don't know what it is, but specifically in duologies. This is a duology. The first book, What the River Knows, is following Inez, who, after the death of her parents, who she's kind of estranged with, they're always in Egypt. They're trying to find a lot of magical artifacts, and they're obsessed with Cleopatra. And so, following their death, she's like, I'm going to go to Egypt, and I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to investigate. I'm going to learn, like, what's going on, what really happened to them. She's going to meet up with her uncle, and I enjoyed that one so much. The world building was incredible. Being in, like, not quite ancient Egypt, but, like, I don't know what era this took place in, unfortunately, but I was so excited about being back in Egypt and, like, getting to know more of, like, the magic. The magic system's really cool because it's, like, attached to items, and it's just, like, weird magic, and, like, it's just silly and funny, and I really love that. And there's a romance that in the first book is so good. So her Tio Ricardo, he has this guy who kind of, like, helps him along the way. They work together. His name is Whitford Hayes, and I loved Whitford. He is such a little rapscallion. just a little scamp, if you will. Like, he is so morally gray, but, like, also, like, their banter was so much fun. They were just such good characters to play off of together. This book was just, like, character assassination the whole time, especially in Whitford's case. Like, he was just not himself. Like, the decisions he made did not make sense following the past book. It was so disappointing, but I did appreciate, like, the family-ness of this. I thought the twist was kind of cheesy and so out of pocket. Like, you could have never predicted anything to happen, that it was kind of disappointing in its own right. But I don't know. I was so excited for this one. I was so excited to be back. And Where the Library Hides, as you know, is, like, what this book is called. How much of the library do you think we get? Very little. It just comes in at the end. Like, we're leading up to it. Like, obviously, like, we're on the search for this library, the Library of Alexandria. But it's such a small portion of the book that it was disappointing. And the character assassination did not make any sense to me. It's so upsetting. I'm so disappointed by this book. I still love the characters. I think I was being way too nice when I gave this a 4 stars. Like, I don't think it was that good in comparison. I think that What the River Knows, 5 stars, it really fantastic. This is probably like a 3, maybe even a 2 if I'm, like, angry enough about the character assassination. Like, the characters didn't make any sense. Like, they just wouldn't do that. Really, really upset. That sucks. The next thing I listened to was Allin by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is the 3rd book in the Naturals series, and I already have the 4th one ready for me. I'm so excited. I'm gonna finish up the series. I binged it, basically. Like, I'm so excited. This is following basically teenage criminal minds. They get picked up from the FBI, and they're trained, and they have special abilities because of their traumas. And so we have a found family of very intelligent teenagers who are also, like, romantically involved with one another. It's very cute, very sweet. Allin focused a little bit more on Salone than the others, which I did appreciate. I really liked those, like, the characters together. So I enjoyed that. I liked being in Vegas. It was fun. Definitely the weakest of them so far. I'm excited to see because it really sets up the final book, which I'm really excited about. The next thing I read was Shouet by Claire Oshesky. And this is a weird little litfic horror. It's not quite horror, but it's unsettling. If you like motherhood and pregnancy, check it out. This woman thinks she's pregnant with an owl and has a little owl baby. And it follows, like, motherhood and the horrors of motherhood. And it's the most bland, awful man you could ever read about. But it is interesting. It didn't quite work for me because I'm not really a pregnancy motherhood reader, but my friends love it. We read it in a live show together. It was a lot of fun, and I do recommend it if you're interested in it, but it is weird, and it is kind of gross at times, and a little bit sapphic, which I did appreciate. So, yeah, there's a lot of pros and cons, but if you're interested, I will leave the live show for you to check out where we, like, read it all together in some sprints. Okay, second to last thing I read was James by Percival Everett, and I get the hype. I understand why people could like this. I'm not a Huckleberry Finn fan to begin with. It's not a author. Like, I'm not interested in any of Mark Twain's books. I just don't care. And so reading a retelling of a story I'm not super familiar with wasn't that interesting to me, but this was so hyped. Everybody loves it. So I was like, I want to check it out. I want to see what's up. Like, I want to know what's going on. It was fine. It was okay. Okay, hi. Sorry. I had to take a short little break. We had to order food. I don't remember what I was saying about James. But basically, I think James, if you enjoy historical, slower stories, if you enjoy, I don't know, it's not necessarily like an enjoy kind of story. It's sad and heavy and a little bit dark, but it's also like a retelling of Huckleberry Finn. We're reading from the slave's perspective, Jim or James, who was Huckleberry Finn's good friend. I really struggled with like the age of people. Like I thought that James was a kid, and I thought Huckleberry Finn was also a kid, but is not a kid. I just like not having known the source material, it was a little bit harder for me to follow everything. And the way women are written is kind of, you know, and so I didn't love that either. I just overall, like, I can see the appeal. I can see why, like, reclaiming the story and writing it as their own can be important for people and enjoyable, and I think the writing is good. I've truly been filming for too long. My camera is over it. My throat is over it. Anyways, back to James. It's fine. So many camera issues for a book that I just like don't have a lot to say about, and it's fine. I just isn't for me. I can understand the appeal for people. The way women were written was kind of why. The way I was just kind of confused and didn't get like the inside jokes and like what the context of everything was, like why things were happening. It just didn't work for me, and I think that's like me not having interest in the source material to begin with and not being the right reader, and I think that's okay. But I did enjoy it. I understand the appeal of it. It's not something I really want to rate just because like I'm not the right audience anyway, and like what the fuck do I know? So yeah, you know. And then finally, the last thing, so we can wrap up this video, was Celestial Banquet by Roselle Lim. This was I believe, young adult fantasy debut, but I think she's written adult and contemporary before. This was a lot of fun in the sense of I really enjoyed the premise. We've got our main character who is a noodle chef. Think of Kung Fu Panda. She's a chef. She really enjoys cooking, and there's like a celestial banquet. There's this competition / game where teams can work together and they have like challenges to get different ingredients, and a lot of them have like magical powers, and then they have to cook meals for the gods, and the gods set out the challenges, and the winning team gets to taste or have access to like this special fruit. And there is like a friends to lover, love triangle, romance. There's a new character that she's interested in, and then also like the friends to lovers. A lot of the romance really was like the main focus of this, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I think it just came at ill time. It didn't feel like the right time for these boys to like be professing their love and like going through dangerous challenges and being like, but you have to remember like what we've been through, like it's you and I, baby. Like it just was a little bit weird, but I really love meddling gods. I loved the gods in this. I thought they were so fascinating and cool and spiteful. Like just kind of bad. I had a lot of fun with them. I really enjoyed like the competition of things and like kind of a found family within like the group, if you will, and just like getting to know everybody I thought was fun. I overall like think that this was okay. It's not mind-blowing, it's not fantastic. I wrote a pretty lengthy review on Goodreads just because I was listening to the arc from NetGalley, and so I wanted to like have like proper thoughts, but it's just like a very like chill wrap up. It was just okay. I think the writing was fine. I really struggled with like the romance of it all. Like it just didn't need to be there. I think it would have been better if it was like more of a fantasy, and it sets up that it could become a series, or it could just stay as a standalone and you just like don't know what's gonna happen next. And I think it was trying to do too much in such a short period of time. Like this is a rather short book. I don't think it's very long. It's probably 300 something pages, if even, and for YA it read pretty quickly, and I just like slow down. The ending is happening. It's getting a little rushed. Like there's a lot happening, and also the stakes were not high. Like nothing really mattered, and that was my other like huge complaint. Like the romance was and the stakes were just like, when the worst possible outcome of something means nothing in your book, then everything feels safe and nothing is concerning or worrisome. And like there's like somebody lost like a finger or a hand or something. Like it gets like dicey because it's a cooking competition with like gods and magical ingredients and scary challenges, but it never felt final or like really anything was going to happen badly. Like it felt like everything was going to be fine. It felt safe, even though bad things could have been happening. Like it just didn't work that way. So I didn't love this. I didn't hate it. I don't know if I would pick up more from this author. It's not like, it didn't stick with me well enough to want to try more from them. But if maybe they came out with more fantasy that sounded appealing, maybe I'd check it out. But finally, this this video took so long to film, and I didn't even talk about all the books. Like, I don't know what happened, but we've made it to the end. Thank you guys so much for watching and hanging out with me. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you made it to the end, put an owl in the comments for Shouet. And if you want to leave a comment and say something more, like, let me know how your May reading went. Did you participate in Escape the Readathon? Did you read any good books? What are some of your 5 stars? Or your worst books? Whatever you want to share with me, I would love to know. I would, but other than that, I will see you guys in my next video very soon. I think it's going to be a reading vlog for Tar, so I will see you guys then. Bye!